Welcome back to Lyxcode. First off, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope everyone is doing alright. So today's episode is part 2 of the ticket system that we created in the last episode, as I promised and as you guys wanted. So to start off, if you haven't watched the first ticket video, you will need to watch it and have it set up before continuing with this one. So what we're going to be doing today is upgrading our ticketing system to make it even more better. So first off, we're going to be creating a command that will enable you to add or remove members from a ticket. Then we're going to be upgrading our ticket setup command to make it save configs for multiple servers so we can make our system a global system. And to top it all off, we're going to be adding a claim button to our system because it got requested a lot, and a couple of more optimizations and upgrading our embeds to work with Discord version 13.5. So let's basically start out. Alright, so let's start out by creating the actual command that will enable you to add or remove members to a ticket. So to do that, we're gonna let's first of all create a new folder inside of our commands folder, and let's call it ticket system because we're gonna be creating a couple of commands for this system. Alright, and now if you go to our systems, we find our ticket.js, which sets up your ticket system basically. We're gonna also move that to ticket system. Alright. So let's close out of all of these. Where did it go? There we go. Let's move it to ticket system. All right. So now we can change the name of it. Let's change it to be, for example, ticket setup. All right. And we're gonna create a new file in here. We're gonna call it ticket. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna call it ticket.js. All right. And now we need to change the name of this command that we created in the last episode to ticket setup. All right. So now we close out of this. We're gonna come back to it later because we're gonna be changing a lot of things inside of it. In the ticket.js here, we're gonna grab a couple of properties from the Discord package. So we're gonna grab message embed, and we're gonna also grab command interaction equals require discord.js. Pretty simple. And now so basically, if you go to our schema, so schemas ticket, this is the same schema. I changed this. This is the exact same schema that we created in the last episode. So like we see it here, it's a member ID is a string. Basically, it can only hold one string. And because we want to add and remove members from a ticket, it won't work with a string because we will need a list, because we can add basically 5 or 10 members to a ticket. So to change this to make it basically a list, we're gonna make it an array of strings, just like this. And you can change this member ID name to whatever you want. You can call it members or the members or whatever. So let's call it, for example, members ID. Okay. And now let's exit out of this. And here we're gonna require the schema. So const dp equals to require // structures schemas ticket, or wherever you placed it. And then here we're gonna model.exports. The name of the command is gonna be ticket. The description of it is gonna be ticket actions, whatever you can want to call it. And the permission of it is gonna be, for now, permission is gonna be administrator. All right. And then we're gonna have our options inside of an array, and the first option is gonna be the actual action. So the type of it is gonna be string because we're gonna be using choices. Description is gonna be add or remove a member from this ticket. Pretty simple. And then we're gonna have, it's gonna be required, set to true, and then we're gonna have our choices inside of an array. So the first choice is gonna be add. Sorry, it should be an array, it shouldn't be an object, just like this. So add, and then the value of it is gonna be add, and then for the other option, which is remove, value is gonna be remove. Pretty simple. And then we're gonna name, here we're gonna create a new command or option, and here member, and it's gonna be basically description. I don't know why it's giving me errors. Let's go out of it and go inside of it again. All right, description, select a member, and then type is gonna be user. Required is also gonna be true. Pretty simple so far. All right, now we're gonna go down here and we're gonna async execute, and we only need the interaction. So we're gonna execute the interaction, and here we're gonna grab our command interaction parameters for it. My Visual Studio Code is basically colorful now out of nowhere. I don't know why this is happening. All right, let's continue on. So we're gonna grab 3 properties from the interaction, which are the guide ID. So guide ID. Also, we're gonna grab the options and the channel. Let me restart my Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code. All right, let's hope this fixed the issue. Now we're gonna grab the action. So const action equals to options dot get string, and we're gonna grab it from the actions option, and then const member equals options dot get member from the member option. Pretty simple. All right, and now here we're gonna create our template embed. So embed message embed. Pretty simple so far. All right, now we're gonna, because we have 2 choices in here, we need to create a switch statement. So we're gonna type switch, and we're gonna switch between the action. Because we have 2 choices here, it either can be add or remove. So we're gonna switch. So case add, we're gonna execute whatever inside of this code, and then we're gonna break. And case remove, we're gonna execute whatever inside or between this column and the break. Pretty simple so far. All right, so in the add, we're gonna start with the add. We're gonna type dp.find1. So we're gonna go inside our database and search the collection and find a document that has a guide ID the same as this guide ID of the interaction, and that has a channel ID the same as the interaction.channel ID. If you go to our schema like we see here, remember the channel ID and the guide ID. They should be exactly the same. All right, in here we're gonna async, we're gonna async error and docs or documents, whatever. And then here we're gonna type if error, then we're gonna throw the error. And also, so basically we're gonna shake. So if exclamation mark docs, so if we didn't find any documents that has the guide ID on the channel ID, most of the time it's because this command was used in a channel where it isn't a ticket. So we're gonna return interaction.reply, and we're gonna reply with an embed. Inside of the embed array, we're gonna set the color of it to be red. We're gonna set the description to say this channel is not tied with a ticket. Very simple. All right, so if the shake gets passed, so if there is docs, then what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna shake the array of the members. Like we see, we're gonna have the members array. And to do that, what we need to do is we're gonna type docs.members id dot includes, or we're gonna actually make it an if statement. So if, let's do this, includes member.id, we're gonna shake if the array already has this member id. Then we're gonna, let's copy this return statement. We're gonna basically say this member is already added to this ticket. Pretty simple so far. And then here we're gonna make it ephemeral, and we're gonna also make this one also ephemeral, so only the command user that sees them. So what we're doing here, if you didn't find any document, we're gonna say the channel is not tied with any ticket, and if the member ID is already included in the array, we're gonna say the member is already added to this ticket. Pretty simple. So if the bot passes all of these checks, then the member doesn't exist in the ticket, and there is a ticket. So here we're gonna type docs.members.id.push, and we're gonna push the member ID. All right, and then we're gonna channel dot permissions overrides, and here we're gonna pass in the member.id, and we're gonna create an object, and we're gonna enable the member to send messages, so it's gonna be true. And then view underscore channel is gonna also be true, and then read message history is also gonna be true. All right, and then we're gonna interaction dot reply. We're gonna reply with the embed. So embed set color green this time, and then sorry, we're gonna set description to be let's add this, and here let's make it backticks actually, so we can actually tag the member. All right, so member has been added to this ticket. Pretty simple, and this should be it for the add command. And now to do the remove, it's basically exactly the same. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy all of this. All right, but we're gonna copy everything that is inside of the case add. We're gonna paste it in here, and we're gonna change a couple of things. All right, so this will leave it be. All right, and here if docs members include, so here we're gonna put an exclamation marks. So basically we're gonna check, we're gonna go inside of the array, we're gonna check if the member doesn't even have the member ID, then we're gonna say that this member is not in this ticket, basically. So the member was never in the ticket, thus I can't remove him. But if it passes this check, that means the member exists inside of the array. So in here we're gonna change from remove to push, and in the permission overrides, all we need to change is let's remove the send messages and view message. We're gonna make it false, so view channel it's gonna be false. And by the way, we forgot one thing. So if you go up here, over here we're gonna docs.save, so we can save the document. All right, the same thing here is gonna be docs.save, so we save the document. And then here we're gonna change the reply with the member has been removed from this ticket. It's pretty simple. So let's try out this this command. So let's try this both. Hope everything is working correctly and I didn't change anything else. So node space thoughts. All right, so let's go to Discord, and now let's try out our ticket. No, not this one, ticket setup. All right, and that should create this list. Let me remove this. This is from old player reports. All right, create has been created. Here's your ticket. Now slash ticket actions add. Let's add, for example, Wilson the wise, and it didn't. Let's see here, channel permission overrides is not a function, and let's see why is that. Where is it actually? It's in here. Yeah, because we need to edit. So edit permission overrides edit. All right, let's do that. Let's do that here too. Where is it? Dot edit, and now it should be working fine. So node space dot. All right, so now let's retry this command, and like you see here, Wilson has been added to the ticket. And if you go to the channel permissions, we can see that Wilson has now the ability to view channel and send messages as long with read message history. Now if I want to remove him, and actually let's go look at the database here. Like we see here, members ID has turned into an array, and it has this this member. Actually what we need to do in the let's go to initial ticket. Where is it? Events ticket, initial tickets. What we need to do here is let's see, math floor channel create. Here we need to change this to members ID, guys. So change this in your initial ticket. Change this member ID to members ID. It's very important, otherwise we here will only see Wilson's ID, not mine. So let's restart the bots. All right, delete this, delete this, delete this, all of it, and delete this document. All right, and then what we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna open another ticket. All right, and now if we open this up, we can see my ID in here. And then if we add Wilson again, so ticket add Wilson, where is he? Wilson the wise, we see here, and here we have added him to the ticket. And now if we ticket remove Wilson. You see he's gonna be removed. Now if we try to ticket, let's say again, remove Wilson again, it's gonna tell us member is not in this ticket because we already removed him. And now let's try this, for example, in general. So slash ticket action add whatever, anybody. This channel is not titled a ticket because it's not a ticket channel. So that's pretty much it for our ticket. Let's save and close ticket. Probably not working now because I was changing stuff before. So yeah, here it's very important. So like you see here, let's go to our ticket options. All right, so we have set the what's it called, to save and exist. Let's open it again. Let's open it again. Why not? Let's restart the bot first. All right, so like you see here in our ticket ops where we save and close the ticket, this file you already should have if you watched the previous video. See here we set the set author of the embed to be member.user tag, but now here we have a couple of members inside of this this array of members. So what we're gonna do is basically remove this whole author thing. All right, for now, and that's it. We won't need this member, so we can remove it. And now if we restart the bot, we can easily save and close ticket, and the ticket is gonna be saved. I got tagged. Let's see here. Yeah, and that's basically fixed a bit. So far so good. The system is working completely fine, and you can add and remove members. All right. So now let's go to the next stage. All right. So now it's time to make our ticket system global and then add the claim button. So to start off, what we need to do is go ahead to our schemas and we're gonna create a new schema and we're gonna call it ticket setup.js. Because we're moving away from saving our IDs in the configs like we did in the last episode. For example, here where we grabbed the transcripts ID from the config. This won't work for global or for multiple guides. So we're going to be using our database to store this information. So in here, we're going to require a couple of properties from the mongoose package. So mongoose, is that how you type it? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get an error. So in here, we're going to type model and schema. And we're going to model exports. We're going to create a new schema. And we're going to name it ticket setup, just like this. And then here we're going to create a new instance of a schema. All right, and it's going to be an object basically. And then here we're going to type guide ID. It's going to be string. Channel is going to be string. And then basically guide ID or guide ID, self-explanatory. Channel is where you open the channel. So if you go to our config here, like you see here, we have our everyone ID, parent ID, open ticket ID, transcripts ID, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna have that stored in the database instead. So channel, then category where we open our tickets is gonna be also string. Then we're gonna have transcripts is gonna be also string. Handlers, we're gonna have a role that will handle the tickets. Everyone is gonna be also string. This is for the everyone ID, and description is also gonna be string. Do we need description? I don't know. We'll see if we need the description. Buttons is gonna also be an array of strings. So that's pretty much it. If we wanted to add something, remove something later on, we can easily do that. So all right, so now let's go ahead to our ticket system folder inside of our commands folders. We're gonna go to the ticket system, and here we're gonna change a bunch of things and we're gonna add a bunch of things. So there's many ways to do this, but this is the way that I figured out. It's extremely hard making a ticket system without having a dashboard. So we're gonna do with whatever we have. So ticket setup, let's move this ticket command. All right, so in here we're gonna remove basically this config, whatever, and we're gonna here require our database, which is gonna be const dp equals require //structures /schemas, and we're gonna require the ticket setup that we just created now. Pretty simple so far. and here we're changing a lot of things, guys. So let's open up this. So we're gonna have a lot of options. So let's create our options array. So we're gonna allow to have basically the max of 3 buttons. So the first name is gonna be channel, so we can grab the ticket opening channel. The description is gonna be select the ticket creation channel. It's gonna be required, like all of those things that we need here. Type of it is gonna be this type is gonna be channel, or actually, yeah, channel. Let's see here. Why do we have an error again? Oh, because we need to place a comma here. All right, channel, and the type of the channel. So we're gonna type channel types because we only need one type of channels, and it's gonna be guide text. Pretty simple. And then let's copy this and paste it here, and we're gonna rename that name from channel to category. And here we're gonna type select the ticket channels creation category, and instead of channel types guide underscore text is gonna be category. Pretty simple. And now we can copy this again. Let's copy it and paste it one more time here, and we're gonna say transcripts. So transcripts, select the transcripts channel. All right, exact same process. And now for the handlers, let's copy it here, remove this channel types, and the type is gonna be role instead of channel, and the name is gonna be handlers, and we're gonna say select the ticket handlers role. All right, and then we're gonna have the everyone role at everyone role, and here is gonna be everyone. Select the, or what can we say, provide the at everyone role. It's important. All right, it's gonna also be role, and the description, that's why we needed the description for the embed basically. So description is gonna be, let's see here, description, and the description of the description is gonna be set the description of the ticket creation channel. All right, and I'm not sure if you actually need to store this in the database, but for whatever reason we're gonna be storing it. All right, so let's go down here, and now for the buttons. So let's copy paste this and remove this. We're gonna change the name of it first button, and here we're gonna say give your first button a name and add an emoji by adding a comma followed by the emoji. It's pretty wanky, but you know, this is the best we can do with a command. And by the way, this should be changed to string. The description should be string, and this also should be string. All right, so now we're gonna copy this 2 more times, just like this, and first button is gonna be changed to second buttons, second here, and third here, and third here. All right, so pause the video wherever you want to basically type this in your file, wherever. All right, so now that is done, we're gonna go down here, and yeah, here we're gonna be doing some work. So we're gonna open up, we're gonna grab the options from here. So options, and we're gonna open up a try statement, and we're gonna catch error, and then we're gonna console log it for now. We're gonna be changing this later on. All right, so in the try, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna grab all of this stuff that we required in here. So we're gonna grab and assign them to variables. So const channel equals to options.get channel, and here we're gonna get the channel from the channel option, and let's copy this a couple of times. All right. All right, so the second thing is gonna be category, and get channel from category. and then we're gonna have the transcript. So transcript, it's gonna be a channel from transcripts, and then handlers is gonna be changed to role. So handlers get role from the handlers option, and then copy this and paste it here, and it's gonna be everyone gets role from everyone. And this is basically it for this stuff. So this is for the from here up here. All right, so we might remove the description because I don't know, we'll see. So let's grab the description either way. So description, all right, options dot get string, I think, yeah, description. All right, and then we're gonna, and this is basically in the ticket setup file if you guys have missed that. So const button first equals options get string, and we're gonna get it from the first button. All right, and then let's copy paste this a couple of times. All right, so let's make a space here. Button 1, button 2, button 3, and here's gonna be second button, third button. And what we're gonna be doing is, because we have the button and the emoji of the button in the same string, we're gonna split the string by the comma that we specified in here. So we're gonna type split, and we're gonna split this the string with the comma, so we can basically get an array, and basically the first argument of the array is gonna be the 0 argument of the array is gonna be the button name, and the 1 is gonna be emoji. So here let's define our emojis. Let's change this to 3, actually, to here. So const emoji 1 is gonna be button 1. We're gonna get the second, like we're gonna get what is after this comma, and the button is gonna be what is before the comma. Pretty simple. Let's copy this a couple of more times, and we'll change emoji 2, 3, and button 2 and 3. It's pretty simple and straightforward so far. All right, so now here we're gonna await dp.find one and update. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find one with the guide id equals to this guide id. All right, and then we're gonna actually we're gonna edit it because it's find and update. So here we're gonna say, let's open up this object. So channel is gonna be channel.id, category is gonna be category.id, and then transcripts, let's save this for now, transcripts id, and then handlers is gonna be handlers id. It's better this way. All right, so everyone is gonna be everyone.id, and then description is gonna be description, and buttons, because we have the buttons as an array of strings, so we're gonna have open up an array, and we're gonna provide button 1 with 0, button 2 and the first argument of the array basically, which is 0, and button 3, and just like this. And we're gonna open up another object, and we're gonna here say new true upsert true. So if there is one existing, we're gonna update it, and if there isn't, we're gonna create a new one. It's pretty simple so far, guys. So yeah, so now let's actually move all of this. Yeah, let's copy all of this. Oops, all of this. What is happening with my, there we go. All right, let's paste it under this. Pretty simple so far. Pause the video, catch everything in here. All right, so in here where we create our buttons, obviously we want the buttons to be named whatever the user specified. And like you see here, this is deprecated, guys. So we're gonna update it. So all you need to do is basically wrap around all of this, create an object, and specify the name to be this one, and then here specify icon URL to be this one. This is how you fix it. Pretty simple with the version 13.5. All right, so the description is gonna be description, that we basically got here from the options. And don't worry, if you did any errors in here, we're gonna fix it along the way. So in here, the first button, the custom ID is gonna be button, see, button 1, and the first string inside of the array. And let's do that for all of these, right? Let's do that here too. Let's do that here, and only need to change the 2 to 2, 3 to 3. And for the emojis, the same concept. Let's copy an emoji. Here's gonna be emoji 1. Here's gonna be emoji 2. Here emoji 3. Sorry, 2 and 3. And then we're gonna yeah, this is basically it for now. And then we're gonna go down here. Where is it? Let's grab this embed, right? Crop it and put it under it, just for basically cleaner code. Await channel cache, and here you can see open ticket, because we removed the configuration of the open ticket. What we're gonna do is grab the channel which we got from the whatever channel.id, and then we're gonna send the embed with the buttons. So and for the errors, because there is a couple of errors that can happen doing this, is basically we're gonna specify what the errors are. So in here we're gonna create another embed. So const error embed equals to new message embed, right? We're gonna set the color of it to be red because it's an error embed. So set description, and here we're gonna open up backticks and create an error. An error occurred while setting up your ticket system. We're gonna add a new line, and here we're gonna say, we're gonna make it bold, what to make sure of. All right, just like this. And now we're gonna go down one more line, and here we're gonna say 1, make sure none of your buttons names are duplicated, because the Discord doesn't allow that, duplicated. All right, another line, we're gonna make sure you use this format for your buttons, and we're gonna provide the formats name and emoji. We're gonna create a new line, and then here we're gonna say make sure your button names do not exceed 200 characters. And a fourth line, we're gonna say make sure your button emojis are actually, is that how you type actually emojis, not IDs. All right, and then we're gonna interaction dot reply with the error embed. Pretty simple. So I'm gonna scroll down slowly for all of you to basically copy and paste. So pause wherever you want, and if there is any errors, like I said, we can solve them. All right, so now let's node space dot. See, all right, so now we're gonna go to our Discord. So let's remove this open ticket message. What we're gonna do here is slash ticket setup. We're gonna get all of the options in here, and let's say open ticket. I want to be the channel for creation. Category is gonna be ticket system. Transcript is gonna be the transcript channel. Handlers, I've made a role called ticket handlers. Everyone, select the everyone role. Description, type whatever. Button, let's say hello, and then here's how you add. You can add custom emojis too. So let's add this emoji, because Discord's command instructions are a little bit wanky. You need to copy it and go down here again and tap on it. Pretty simple. Let's add another button. Let's add another emoji. Simple like that. Let's add this, for example. All right. So ticket setup. Let's see. We got an error. Make sure your ticket systems. We need to console log this. Let's console log it so we know exactly what's up. Log error. All right. Because we got an error. Let's see here. So ticket system, let's do that again. Handlers, everyone, that's it. Let's see what the error is. Splits, cannot read properties of splits. Let's see why. Get string first button. because we named these buttons, not button. So that was the error. So first button, first button. All right, let's try again. Now it should be working all fine. Let's remove these errors, because the errors on the developer side. Be careful, guys. Ticket handlers and everyone. All right, invalid application command. Why is it invalid? Let's do it again. Ticket setup, open ticket, ticket system, transcripts. All right, handlers, everyone, description, whatever, button. Gonna add this emoji. Let's add this. Like you see, I'm splitting with a comma, and for this button, we're also gonna add. Let's leave it without an emoji. Let's say you don't want to make it an emoji. Right, done. Open a ticket, and like you see here, a ticket created with all of these names. But of course, if you press on them, they won't work now because we're not actually listening to them. We're gonna listen to them soon. Alright, so but we got this working, and if we do it in another guide, it's gonna also be working. I will test the global functionality of it later on in the episode. So now we're gonna be moving on to the next step, and it's gonna be listening to the actual buttons of these interactions. Alright, so now we're gonna move over to our events ticket and initial ticket, which is basically whatever happens whenever the button is pressed to create a ticket. So in here, we're gonna require the ticket setup that we created in the previous section. Where is it? The schemas, the ticket setup right here. So let's remove this, the parent and everyone ID from the config, because we won't be needing them for that. And now here we're gonna type const ticket setup data equals to require. Let me make sure I'm actually recording. Yeah, man. All right. So require, sorry. // structures / schemas / ticket setup. All right. I'll remove this comment right here, and I just outlined myself what to do here so I don't forget. All right. So in here we're gonna remove these because we used them because we had set hard-coded custom IDs. So let's remove this. All right. Let's go down a couple more spaces. So now we're gonna go down a line and we're gonna type const data equals await ticket setup data, and then we're gonna find one just like this, and we're gonna find one with the guild ID the same, because if you go to our MongoDB, like this is how the ticket setup should look like in your MongoDB. All right, so we're gonna find a document where the guild ID is equal to this interaction guild ID, and then we're gonna check. So if exclamation mark data, then we're gonna return. So if we didn't find data, then we're gonna return. And now here, if we found data, then the bot is gonna continue with the code. And here we're gonna say if exclamation mark data dot buttons dot includes custom ID. All right, then here we're also gonna return. This is the same concept with the one that we removed previously. All right, so we're gonna generate the random ID like we usually do, and here we're gonna change a couple of stuff with the channel creation. So instead of parent ID here that we required previously from our config, like we see, we have saved it in here to be category. All right, so it's gonna be instead of parent ID, it's gonna be data dot category. All right, the same thing in here. Instead of everyone, is gonna be data dot everyone. So it's basically we changed from our config JSON file to the database, which is pretty simple. You can do a lot of things with this knowledge or tutorial, whatever you want to call it. So here, everyone ID, yeah, everyone. Pretty simple. Then async data create. All right, now because we're gonna create an additional button, which is the claim button, what we have to do is we're gonna go to our ticket.js. All right, under the tab, we're gonna type claimed, and it's gonna be boolean, so in case it's claimed or not, and then claimed by is gonna be a string. Right, so let the admin know whenever we claim it. All right, so in here we're gonna go down in here dp create, and it's gonna be claimed false. All right, whenever it's created, and claimed by, we're not even gonna say anything about it because we don't need it for now. All right, so now here we're gonna update this code to fit with the new update. So we're gonna type, open up an object, type name, and then in here we're gonna type icon URL, and it should be fixed. The same with footer. Put this inside of an object and type text equals to this, and that's how you fix the deprecated issues. Pretty simple and straightforward. All right, ticket opened by this member. It's pretty simple. All right, buttons, and now here we're gonna create a new button. So let's copy this button. All right, and let's put a comma in here, and we're gonna change the name of it to be, for example, or the custom ID is gonna be claim. The label is gonna be claim, and the style, let's put it to be primary, for example, and let's change the emoji of it. Let's make it this emoji. Right, claim, and it's gonna be channel.send, and this is basically it. I think this is how you update this file for now. So let's node space dot. All right, now let's try it out. Let's go to our open ticket. Let's click on this ticket, for example, and a ticket should open normally. Here is your ticket, and we have the buttons with the claim button. And now if you click obviously on any of them, none of them will, oh, it actually worked. Because we fixed a previous issue. No worries, just delete this channel. But if you click on the claim button, nothing will work. Let's try that again. So let's open a ticket, and like you see, the names are opening with the custom IDs that we have set. Claim, nothing will happen because we're not actually listening to the button. All right, so pretty simple. And now this will take us to the last section, which is actually the ticket options, actually listening to these tickets and making them global. So let's go. All right, so now here we go to the last thing that we're gonna be doing in this episode. All right, so we're gonna go to the ticket ops, which stands for ticket options, and here we're gonna also change a couple of things. All right, so like you see here, if we go up, we require transcripts from the actual config. We're gonna delete that because the system is gonna be global. And here we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna type const ticket setup data equals to the same concept as the last one, dot/slash structure slash schemas slash ticket setup. Pretty simple. And here we're gonna add an additional string to this array, and we're gonna call it claim. It's the exact same button custom ID that we created in our initial tickets, like we see here. Here. All right, so if the button custom ID is not inside of this array, we're gonna return. And here, because we have a handler's what's it called, role, we're gonna check the role instead of the permission. So, and before we do that, we're gonna go up here, and here we're gonna type const ticket setup, for example. We're gonna type wait ticket setup data dot find one, and we're gonna find one with the same guile ID. So guile ID is equals to the guile.id of this one. All right, and now here, if exclamation mark ticket data, so if we didn't find any data, we're gonna return interaction dot reply, let's say content, for example, the system for this, or actually the data for this system is outdated. We can say that. All right, and then here we're gonna if there is data, then the bot is gonna continue like usually. So here we can check if exclamation mark member dot roles dot cache, and here dot find, we're gonna find, and instead let's remove this. All right, let's remove this, and here we're gonna type role.id is equals to ticket setup dot handlers. Did we call it handlers? Let's go to our database. Yeah, handlers. Right, so if it isn't, you cannot use these buttons. All right, embed through, this is all right, we can keep it. You can keep all of this. So case log, so in here we can check if docs.logs is completely fine, but what we need to change is in here, because it's an array of members. We can't just say docs.member.id because it doesn't even exist anymore. So in here we're gonna type docs.members id dot for each, because it's an array. So for each member we're gonna assign the variable m. We're gonna copy this, all right, paste it here, and we're gonna change from docs.member id to m. All right, so for each member inside of an array of this members id array, we're gonna edit the permissions. Pretty simple. And now for the unlock, it's gonna be the same concept. So let's copy this. All right, for each, let's paste it in here instead. Let's put some space, and instead of false, we're gonna change it to true. And for the close, let's see here, ticket ID is all good, close all good, update. And now here, guide.channels.cache get transcript ID is going to be changed to docs, or actually setup. Where is it? Ticket setup. All right, let's copy it. Where was we again? Here. Ticket setup dot we called it, I think, transcripts dot transcripts dot send, and this should be it. And yeah, so now let's try our system out. And actually we forgot one thing. We need to actually update our claim. We need to listen on the claim, so let's do that. Let's do that here, for example, or let's do this last. So where does this break? Cons, this doesn't break for some reason. All right, let's break this, right? Let's follow this line. Yeah, all right. So now here we're gonna type case claim, we're gonna listen on it, and then we're gonna break. All right, and then here we're gonna type, it's pretty simple, if docs dot claimed equals to true, then we're gonna return interaction dot reply. We're gonna say content, this ticket has already been claimed by, and now let's do this real quick. Here will pass docs dot claimed by. All right, and now we can go down here, and let's actually make this ephemeral so it doesn't clog up the channel. So all right, so if it's not, then it's gonna continue. And actually let's remove this code block, we don't need it. All right, go down here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna await dp dot update one. We're gonna update one inside our database. We're gonna update one with the channel id equals to this channel dot id of the interaction. And what we're gonna update is claimed is gonna be set to true, and claimed by is gonna be set to member dot id. Let me make sure that these are the right names. So let's go to our schema. Schemas, ticket setup. No, actually ticket.js. So claimed by. Yeah, exactly. All right. So once that is done, we're gonna save. Go down here. We're gonna type set description, and here we can say this ticket is now claimed. All right. We can type by. Let's add this again, or actually only need to add the member. So member. Let's change this to backticks real quick. Okay, and then interaction dot reply. We're gonna reply with the embed. It's pretty simple. So now let's try if everything is working out. All right, and we're gonna fix an error that that occurs. So here's the ticket. Igro is being a dick. All right, so now let's add, for example, Wilson to this ticket. All right, so Wilson ticket, add Wilson. All right, and we can remove them wherever. And now if we look, if we go here, permissions, all right, see me, I have send messages and view channel, same with Wilson. Now if I type lock, then if you go here, and it's gonna change the permission for both me, like you see here, send messages, and Wilson. All right, so now let's unlock it, and now let's claim it, and it should respond, but it's not. Let's see here, member. Yeah, because this should be member with lowercase m. Simple. All right. Now if I try to claim, like you see, this ticket has already been claimed because it updated itself in the ticket database, and it didn't go through fully. So now let's type. Let's actually create a new ticket. Let's delete these ones. Start all over. All right. Let's delete channel. All right. Open tickets. Let's open this one. And now if I claim it, this ticket is now claimed by Lyx. And now if we go to the database, we should see that claimed true and claimed by this user ID. And if somebody else tries to claim it, it's gonna say this ticket has already been claimed by Lyx. It's pretty simple. And now save and close. It should work like you see here. It's worked, and the channel will be deleted in a couple of seconds. So everything is working. Setting up the ticket and everything. Now let's try if it's actually global. So I went ahead and invited my bot. This is from previous tests. So let's remove all of this. All right, let's remove this one. So this is the same bot that I use in here. If you want to see, make sure mutual servers, sysit roleplay, wherever. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transform our command handler to be a global one. Basically simple transformation. I don't recommend you do this for large bots, but you know, for small bots it's completely fine. So like we see here, we main guild, we get main guild by the ID. Instead we're gonna type client dot for each, sorry, guilds dot cache dot for each guild. Then we're gonna execute whatever this code in. And now here we can remove this. All right, let's copy this, all of this down to here, I think, yeah, to here, paste it in here and change main guild to G, and then here main guild to G, and then here main guild to G. And now if we restart the bot, the command should be global now for both of these servers, this and this one. All right, so I don't know what I've sent in here, but either way, like you see, the system is working in here. All right, it's completely fine, tagging and locking and unlocking and claiming. And now I'm gonna try to set up this system in here. So let's go to founders. All right, so / ticket setup channel. Let's make it, for example, moderators. Sorry, channel moderator. Category, let's say development. Transcript, let's say whatever. Helpers. Handlers, let's set it to be founder. Everyone is going to be everyone. Description, whatever. First button. I'm not going to add even emojis in here because it doesn't really matter. I'm just testing. Done. And the ticket has spawned in here. Create tickets. And like you see, it created a ticket. And now I can lock, unlock, claim, save ticket. And it's going to be transferred to this. And the same concept in here. I can also open a ticket here and it won't matter. So like you see, it's working for global commands as I promised. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a long one. So thank you guys for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.